This topic is about frictionless payments, an emerging trend for our payment processing. Now, to navigate this conversation, I'd like to call on stage our moderator for this panel discussion, Mr. Anil Kumar Gupta, who is the partner at Microsave Consulting. Can we give a huge round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen? And joining him on stage are going to be Shruti Kharbanda, Chief Operating Officer at Pay10.
Coming to Shruti. So Shruti is part of Pay10, and Pay10 is a versatile electronic payment provider in the market. They help businesses to do their business in an electronic payment way. India is a complex country, or many countries in one country. This is what I used to say. So Shruti, how does Pay10 make payment processing frictionless and cost-effective for businesses?
Firstly, thank you, Anil, for having me here today. Let's take a step back from your question and define what frictionless and invisible payments actually mean, right? We live in a consumer-oriented market, right? And if you see, the trend shows the consumer's average attention span of a consumer is 8 seconds. So at the end of the day, frictionless payments is all about boosting consumer convenience and spending less time on completing a transaction. So these are two basic aspects where frictionless payments come from. Now, we as in Pay10 or Pay10, serving the B2B segment of merchants, or we serve B2B or B2B2C. We have to look at what our industry is asking for, right? Our industry trend is going from the traditional industry to a context-based industry. Context-based industry in the sense, for example, if you're looking at insurance, it's no longer male, female, location. It's all about how healthy you are. The healthier you are, the less your insurance. For example, vehicle insurance, right? You have a black box in your car. The better driving pattern and driving behavior, the lesser the insurance, no matter the age, right? So that's a context-based industry that we are moving towards. So when we look at our requirements, what's coming from our consumers and merchants, we talk about this industry as asking for less wait time, which is quick checkouts, self-checkouts, which in turn creates cost optimization for organizations. On the other hand, that optimization could be used very well. So the people who are no longer doing checkouts can actually stand and do customer services, build customer relationship, the personalization of the customers that we are talking about. It has to be easy to use. It has to be zero error to build trust. Now, frictionless payment to build trust is a big thing. Trust is where the whole industry starts from. My merchants build trust with their customers with products or services that they give, the quality of the product services they give, and how their payments are processed. There are three key items. So Pay10 as a payment solution service provider is a key contributor to its merchant success. That is where we are coming from. So what we are doing is we are focusing on a few key areas to build trust with our merchants, right? First is how do we authenticate payments, right? Payment authentication mechanism. So it can be pre-authorized, it can be biometric. Now, did you know facial biometric for a person with dark skin has more false positives than a person with light skin? Right? So you cannot build a standard based on false positives, right? So maybe use a combination of...
It's like clothing sizes.
Absolutely. So we're talking about using a combination of palm prints, fingerprints, retina, face, facial recognition, voice. Then we're also talking about tokenization for card, security. So data privacy comes into with all this data, cybersecurity is a topic that we cannot avoid, right? Ultimately, with all this technology, what Pay10 is trying to do is keep the merchant success rate high. ultimately, for my merchant, that is my quality of service, right? So, me being in operations, I have a very pessimistic view. Success is great. Let's look at the failures, right? I focus on technical declines, whether that is due to merchants, due to my technology, or my acquirer. And that is what my focus is, to keep that success rate. Now I'll come back to your question that you asked about making it cost effective. Right? Cost effective is easy to say. We are talking about automation. Everybody talks about automation, but that's a decade old. Let's talk about autonomous operations, which is deeply powered by AI, machine learning. And it is a journey that we take our organizations through, right? And with autonomous, we want people to only focus on, my employees or my team to only focus on subjective decision making, right? And then also looking at optimizing the use of technology. We all use clouds, right? Now, how many people would say, let's use Mongo on a EC2 on AWS, as opposed to making sure my technology is able to self-scale and self-reduce so I can optimize the cost? That is where the cost savings come from.
Thanks, Shruti. And Shruti, I'm sure that you have many ideas. Probably some of them are work in progress. So you want to share or you want to enrich us?
Thank you, Anil. Yes, so when we look at the future of frictionless payments, you can actually classify them as short, medium, and long term future that we see. So, firstly, something that will happen in India is availability across all regions, whether it's city or rural areas, and in online offline space. The other significant penetration that we see is within the high volume, low value ticket items, right? That's where a lot of the penetration we will see. Then, retail, I think retail is one area we've always talked about that frictionless will happen. In this case, like my friend just highlighted, there'll be transaction limitations, transaction size limitations that will be imposed, and it'll be only allowed for certain category of merchants to make sure there's a trade-off between convenience and security. So then frictionless payments, or what we call invisible payments, will basically boost omni-channel experience across online, offline touchpoints. So that is another area. Then there'll be a special focus for payment solution providers to make the solution robust, scalable, secure, interoperable, which I think we are all, from technology perspective, looking at it on a daily basis as a grind. Some use cases that we see can be worked on immediately are things like toll and transit, fast tags, which are already coming out. Then we are talking about contextual insurance for travel and health. Then linking frictionless payments to reward programs. That will be another area that we see with real-time offers based on location and trends. Ultimately, all this has to boost customer experience and build customer trust for new use cases to come out. So that's where we see the future of frictionless.